So first of all, I would like to welcome all of you to this session and welcome to Jaipuria family. I'll be speaking for about 40 minutes and then I will also spend some time to answer some of your questions. So you can put up your questions in the chat box. Uh, not all questions could be answered because of the limitation of time, you understand that. So I'll pick up some questions, but all the questions will be answered eventually, and our faculty colleague and the team will get back to you with the answers of all your questions. And personally, I would also like to get back to some of you if your questions are interesting and if I think that I should answer those questions. So this is how we'll go about. So we all know that it's Corona time and all of us are working from home, and I'm sure you're all spending your time at home and you're not going outside anywhere. And I'm sure that you and your family, you are keeping safe and you're also doing well. I just hope and pray that the situation returns to normal and we all are back to campus life very soon. We all love campus life. We want to desperately come back to the campus life, but this is the time that we must support our government. We must support our system to fight in this particular very important fight and fight for our life. But let me tell you one thing, that you are very fortunate to join Jaipuria at this hour, which is so well equipped with online learning system. We did not even take any time to make a complete shift from classroom to online learning. We have our own system so well equipped that we could do that. There are many business schools who are struggling to switch to the online system. They are still trying to find out the way to do it. But we have our own system and already in place so that we were able to make this shift very fast. So you are very fortunate that you joined Jaipuria, which has the capacity to deal with this kind of situation. And we made sure that there is absolutely no loss of learning for our students. So for the existing students, their academic calendar is followed and there is absolutely no loss in learning. There is examination system which is followed as per academic calendar. Results are out on the basis of what we have declared in the academic calendar. So everything is going on its own pace and as it would have been done when we would have been in the campus. So there is absolutely no loss of learning from our side. I congratulate you for making into Jaipuria system. You may have opted for a campus at Lucknow, Noida, Jaipur and Indore, but I can assure you that the Jaipuria spirit, you will find that it remains the same in all campuses. When I said Jaipuria spirit, what do I mean by Jaipuria spirit? What I mean is that it reflects our philosophy of on campus. You must have heard about this camp. Some of you must have heard about this terminology, some of you may not have, but let me explain this concept of on campus for all of you for your advantage. It has got certain elements. I would like to pick up few of them. The first one I would like to talk about is the vision and mission, which is the same for all 4 campuses. And this vision and mission of Jaipuria has got 4 elements. And when I explain these 4 elements to you, you will understand what kind of system Jaipuria Institute of Management has. And this will also give you the indication of how you're going to be placed in Jaipuria system. The first element of our vision and mission is student centricity. So when I said student centricity, it means that for us, student is at the center of our universe. And everything that we do are the driving force to achieve the students' well-being and also students' learning. So even the outcome of any planned programs that we follow will depend on how it is going to help the student. So that is the only yardstick we use for taking any decisions. So you are well placed in our system because you are the center of everything that we do. The second element of our vision mission is quality education. So we look for quality education. We do benchmarking with the best, and nothing less than best would do for our students. That's what we try and do. The third element is stakeholders' well-being. So you being one of the very important stakeholder, there are other stakeholders also who are equally taken care of, like industry. Our recruiters are one of the most important and significant stakeholder for us. We also even go to the extent of taking government and the society as our stakeholder. Our faculty, our staff, of course, are the inbuilt and inner part of the core. Your parents, we also take them as a stakeholder, and we keep in touch with them. And also we keep on talking to them and taking their views and their feedback. So our whole system is very inclusive in nature, and we keep on thriving on the feedback that we get from our stakeholders, and we keep on working for them. The last element of our vision and mission is continuous learning. We think that the things which have brought you here may not take you there. So tomorrow is not going to be based on what we are going to do today, just today, and keep on doing that. We'd always look for learning new things and try to see how it is going to fit into tomorrow. And therefore, continuous learning is the ethos that we build our whole system on. So these 4 elements of vision and mission you will find is similar at all 4 campuses. One of the first element of on campus. The second element I would like to talk to you, which is relevant to you, your understanding, is courses and learning. We have a course structure, course content. Content means what you call the syllabus, and the course outline. So we do have the course outline system. So course outline, it means session-wise detailing of how learning is paced and what all will happen in each session. And you will find that this whole system of courses and learning are the same in all 4 campuses. Yet another element of on campus is placement. You must be wondering about, and you may have a lot of questions about placement. We have a joint placement system wherein a company visiting in one campus is made available to all campuses. That means if a company is coming in one campus, all campuses students can participate in that. And this is why we have more than 300, 400 companies on roll. And each one of the student in any of the campuses will have access to all these companies. The 4th element I would like to talk about is the student exchange. And it's a very interesting aspect of on campus. You can opt to study in any of the 4 campuses for 1 trimester, and you can choose to do that. And many students actually do that. From one campus to the other campus, you can go and stay there for 1 trimester and study. It's also about the faculty exchange. So the faculty teaching in each other campuses is also the practice that we follow. That means the best of the faculty will move from one campus to the other campuses and teach. The last aspect of on campus I would like to bring to your notice is very interesting. It's called technological integration, and you should understand what it is. There is a system with us which is known as Impartus Lecture Capture Solution. And this Impartus Lecture Capture Solution means that when the lecture is delivered, the lecture is also recorded and it is made available to the student, and you can access it through your Jaipuria app or on your mobile as well, and sitting anywhere you can access that. The interesting point is that you can access all these lecture delivered in all 4 campuses irrespective of where you are. This is called the perfect technological integration, and you can imagine the kind of learning resources which is made available to you. So you can look at the same topic taught by 3-4 professors in all our 4 campuses. We do have Moodle system wherein there is online learning assessment, online submission. There will be a lot of flipped video which will be provided to you as a pre-learning reinforcement. We actually divide learning into 3 phases. One is called the pre-learning reinforcement, then learning phase where you sit and talk with your professors, and then the post-learning. So lecture capture is a part of post-learning reinforcement, and flipped video is a part of pre-learning reinforcement. Now the theory of learning that we understand is that the student who actually get engaged in all 3 stages, like when the learning happens before that and when the learning happens after that. So if you can engage yourself in all 3 stages, you are the one who is going to learn better than the student who would not actually get engaged in all three stages. And therefore our recommendation to all the students goes like, you should engage somewhere even before the learning starts and after the learning has taken place. We also have something called outcome-based education. I would like to brief you about this because this may be very unique to you and you may not have heard about it. It's called the outcome-based education. This means we are talking about the targeted learning. We are talking about learning for a pre-decided outcome. And there is an element of assurance of learning. That means that the learning is well designed and well directed. So here we decide what are the things that you need to learn at least to make it into a corporate world. And we ensure that these learnings take place. So the program outcomes are all predefined, and how we define program outcome is based on the consultancy approach. So there is a faculty, there is expert, there is industry, there is all other stakeholders, and we take them in cognizance. We take alumni on board, and we together decide what should be the program outcomes, and we ensure that these program outcomes are there for all of you. There is a set of called graduate attributes. I should introduce you to this. It is an assurance to the industry, kind of assurance to the industry, that if you pick up our student from Jaipuria, these are the 5-6 things that you will see in our student. And we ensure that our students actually display those 4-5 things. And this is an important guideline for you also as a student, because this will give you a kind of indications, and this will give you a direction. What are the things that you should prepare for? Just takes you to that place. Your destination is not known, but do we have a GPS in our life? The question is, in life we don't know where we want to reach, but do we have a GPS which will take us there? Do we have a north star to look up to in case we miss on where do we want to go? It's very difficult. It's like a scenario where in the book Alice in Wonderland, the Alice and cat, they have a conversation. When Alice finds that there are two different ways going into different directions, and she doesn't know which route to take, and she asks the cat, can you suggest which way to go? The cat says, it depends on where you want to go. Then the Alice said, I don't know where to go. The cat says, it doesn't matter which way you go. So this means if you do not know the destination, it doesn't matter which way you go. So do you have a GPS? Your graduate attributes are one such GPS which we make it available to you. So let me give you some glimpse of the graduate attribute. For example, the graduate attributes, one talks about self-initiative. The 2 talks about deep discipline knowledge. 3 talks about critical thinking and problem solving. 4th talks about team building and leadership. 5th talks about open and clear communication. 6th talks about global outlook. 7th talks about ethical competency and sustainable mindset. And 8th talks about entrepreneurship and innovation. Now, if you look at all these 8 graduate attributes, it is a guideline for you. And these are the competencies you need to develop in yourself. And that's why I said that graduate attributes are the wonderful thing that is being provided to you from the Jaipuria side. Because if you lost your way, go back and look at your graduate attributes, and it will give you the guidelines. What should you do? There are 4 priorities on which we define the student learning at Jaipuria. The first priority we make for ourselves is called the industry connect. We'll do everything for you to connect you to the real world and the industry. That is the first priority that we have set for ourselves. The second priority is technology enabled learning. Learning should not stop anytime. It is a 24/7 affairs, and learning should be made available at your fingertips. And therefore, there is a lot of mobile learning you can do in our system. There is a lot of learning from home you can do in our system, because it's always available to you through technology. The third one is beyond classroom and experiential learning. The learning does not happen only in the classroom. It happens a lot outside the classroom. And in Jaipuria system, you will realize that a lot of things that you learn, actually you learn outside the classroom. About 60 to 70% learning that you're going to have is outside the classroom by participation, by looking at it, by watching, by observing, by visiting. All these are going to be part of your learning. The fourth priority we set for ourselves is called the global exposure. So global exposure is very important, and all of you must be ready to get this experience of global exposure. All we do, all these 4 learnings, 4 ways of doing learning, making learning available to you, we do it through new age courses and mixing of electives that we do for you. We have a system of dual specialization. It puts you in the advantageous position because you can actually put two legs on at a time on 2 different electives. So, you can choose, let's say, marketing finance or finance HR or HR IT or finance operations. There are all kinds of elective specializations available, and you can choose any of them. And it's a dual specialization with equal weightage. Lots of electives within the specialization have been launched, like you can do analytics, you can go for machine learning, things like that. So we have IBM softwares available, IBM fully equipped lab available. So you can go for all these kind of special electives, new age electives in our system. There is a system of open elective as well, which cut across the areas. And there are certificates offered to you, which are industry run courses. And these courses are run by the industry, and you can choose them and do these certification courses, which are very important for your employability. There are 3 months internship, industry internship that will be offering to you. A lot of placement support will be given to you. International placement and summer internship possibilities are also there. Entrepreneurship and innovation incubation centers and startup labs is set up for those students who would be interested in this. Trimester exchange in Europe-based premier institutions are available, and you can go to good premier business school with whom we have the collaborations and spend 3 months over there and do your work, do your study and come back. Now let me give you a kind of perspective to MBA education. You must be wondering about the MBA versus PGDM, and you have joined the PGDM course, not the MBA course. In the first place, our PGDM is equivalent to MBA because of the certification that we got from AIU. It is just a matter of regulatory issue that we run PGDM and the universities, they do run MBA. It's not more than that. But the special thing about PGDM is that it's an industry run courses, and it gives us the flexibility of making changes at the demand of the market, and which actually places you in a better place. Let's consider this data. By 2020, India is expected to be home of 1.35 billion people. And out of this number, about 906 million will be of working age. What do you think these 906 million people would be looking for? They will be looking for jobs. They will be looking for career. They would be looking for something to bank upon. And look at the World Economic Forum report. If you go through these reports like Global Risks Report, the Future of Jobs Report, and there is another report by ILO, International Labour Organization, is called Global Employment Trends for Youth 2020. If you read all these kind of report at the global level, they indicates two things about future. The first thing they talk about is employers are not finding enough people with the skills they need to grow their business and enable the economy to recover. That means they find that the graduates do not have employable skills enough to be employed. That's the one thing that they talk about. The second thing they talk about is that the future is going to be very different with the technological innovations and Industry 4. And then in view of that, if you look at the set of skills that the students should develop, out of the 20 odd skills that they talk about for the future, only 3 to 4 can be taught in the classroom, and rest 15 to 17 skills you have to learn outside the classroom. Remember, look at this two trend. How are we going to cope with this and what it means for us? So when we look at the different variables which has shaped the management education of late and is going to shape in the future, I would like to earmark 2 variables on the demand side and the 2 variables on the supply side for your understanding, not taking you to a very big detail because the time limitation is there. So the first variable on demand side I would like to talk about is the need and preferences of business education takers. Who are the business education takers? You are the business education takers. And therefore, the first question that you must have confronted for yourself is, why do you want to do MBA? And the way you answer this question, why do you want to do MBA, is the variable on which the future of management education is decided. So decide yourself, why do you want to do MBA? And why have you joined MBA? Is it just for the job? And therefore the education we will provide is to cater to your job, or is more than that? Think about it. The second on the demand side is the knowledge, skill, and attitude employers expect graduates to possess. So this is from the employer side. So what kind of knowledge they want in the graduate, what kind of skill they want in the graduate, what kind of attitude they want in the graduate. So therefore this question that you confront is that, what do you want to become after you join the MBA, or what do you want to develop through this MBA program? So the first question is that why do you want to do MBA? Second is that what do you want to develop in yourself after you join MBA? Now, these two questions juxtaposed together will shape the kind of delivery that we are going to do to you. What is your answer? Think about it. On the supply side, the first question is that the first variable is the choice of providers available to those interested in pursuing management degrees. From the supply side, how do you select a business school? That's the question I'm putting to you. Do you select a business school based on certain variables? What is that you're looking at in a business school? So, that is, if that preferences are changing over time, that means the management education will also undergo a change accordingly. The second factor is that resources the business schools need to serve the cause of management education. What kind of resources the business school has? What is your business school offering to you? Is it in terms of, let's say, faculty? What is that they're offering to you? In terms of learning, what is that they're offering to you? In terms of resources, infrastructure, courses, internship, pedagogy, student centricity, what is that your business school is offering to you? And if you can discern all these variables and try to take a close look at it, we come to a conclusion where people are generally looking at return on investment and the value propositions and the value creation that is going to be there in the business management education. And we are focusing on how we can maximize on this value proposition. What value propositions are we going to offer to you? What kind of value creations that we are going to make to you through this, through the MBA education? Generally, these value propositions are looked at from one single lens, generally speaking, and that single lens is the placement. And we think that the placement is the outcome that we are looking at, and the CTC is the outcome that we are looking at. And some of the students who are really go deeper, they look at the company profile as an outcome, not the CTC per se as the outcome, because it's not about one job, it's about the career over a period of 5 years or 10 years down the line. So this is one lens or single lens to look at the return on investment. But there is another lens I would like to give to you to look at the return on investment from management education. And this lens is called the lifelong learning. Now, what is this lifelong learning lens? I would like to, explain a little bit on this lifelong learning and ask you to think about it. How important do you think the lifelong learning is as a value creation for yourself? Professor Rita Gunther McGrath, in her famous article in Harvard Business Review, she has written that business schools changing to create value for executives throughout their careers rather than just at the age of 26, 28. She's saying that the business schools are changing and they are starting looking at the value that they are creating to the graduates, not just at the age of 26 to 28 when they enter the business school, but over the lifespan that they spend, going to spend in the market. And therefore is the value chain over the life cycle, not the value that you look at just for one job. This is something like, I would like to throw a challenge to you to think about. Do you think that the job versus career, is it meaningful to talk about? Or do you think that job is different from the career? I'm just putting it in perspective for you to think about. And do you think that focusing on career is more important than getting a job? I'm just opening it up for your understanding. If you can discern this, you will be able to understand what I mean by lifelong learning. It's your capacity to learn. Is learning which you're doing is important, or learning to learn? How do you learn how to learn? How do you learn how to learn is also important. Think about it. There are three kinds of lens that you can look at. One is called the life-seeking lens, and you become a life skill seekers. Then you can look at from the job lens, and then you become job seeker. And you can think about, there are some students who would like to look at it from the degree lens. That means you become a degree seeker. The degree seekers are interested in giving exams and taking degree. They're not interested more than that. The job seekers are interested not only in getting degree, but they're also interested in getting a job, and they'll do everything which will make them to get a job. But life skill seekers are very different. They are looking at lifelong learning. They're looking at degree. They're also looking at employability skills, and they are also looking at how they are going to do in their life after 5 years or after 10 years down the line. So they have a larger vision to bank upon. And that is what life skill learning is all about. And if you start looking at your education from life skill learning return on investment point of view, your whole outlook towards education will change. And your positioning yourself as a student in the campus is going to change. Now I would like to talk to you about what kind of learner you would like to become when you come on board. So there are basically 3 types of learner that you can choose to become. One is called the dependent learner. That means you are directed for the learnings. So, you know, you will learn the things which will be directed to you, which your professor will ask you to learn, or your syllabus will demand, and then you confine yourself to that. You become a dependent learner. There is something called the independent learner. You need to be an independent learner in the first place, which means that you need to be a student who take the responsibility of your own learning and believe that primarily it is your duty to work on your self-development and grooming. Such learners are the CEO of their own life. You know, you have a project, you have a company at your hand, and the name of your company is your own life. And you are the CEO of this life. And the independent learner will know this, and they will work like a CEO of their own life. But an interdependent learner understands a step further and strongly believes in co-learning and co-creation with the peers. They are a strong team players. This is highly recommended because the ability to learn from and work with peer is what will make you a better candidate in the corporate world. And at Jaipuria, there are at least 4 learning spaces where you can maximize your gain by taking care of few important rules and habits. And I will explain it to you, these 4 learning spaces one by one. The first space we provide to you is the classroom. Here the magic lies in how you prepare and organize yourself for a classroom session. Jaipuria will provide you multiple options for pre-classroom work. You will have pre-classroom flipped video, prescribed pre-reads, and prescribed textbook, which you must take a look at. Entering class with some pre-work will make a huge difference in your learning because you will be able to understand and relate it with a topic very well. Magic happens in yet another way when you start organizing your learning very well, carrying books in the class, classifying them subject-wise, writing notes in the class, and underlining important keywords for further consultancy will make a huge difference in your learning. Participate as much as you can in classroom discussion. Open up your mouth. Don't feel shy. But be careful. You also need to be contributing relevant points and not just hijack the discussion by adding spurious points. You can do this by doing a good pre-work and be attentive when the class is going on. Develop the habit of asking questions, and you should also meet your professor outside class if doubt persists. Jaipuria also provides you with lecture capture solution, as I spoke about, which you must access as this allows you to revisit the same lecture as many times as you would like to. This is a very strong tool for learning reinforcement, which you should never miss to utilize. Yet another clue to your self-development and also your ability to relate well with the classroom teaching is to develop the habit of reading newspaper on daily basis. Not only reading headlines, news details, and editorial, you can do much better if you can prepare a systematic note of all the stories that you have followed. Advice would be that you maintain a newspaper notebook. It would indeed be a golden practice if you can manage to share the news and speak about it to your like-minded friends or your roommates. Remember, the key is the regularity. Students who have students who have practiced it on solid regular basis are the one who have shown brilliant and excellent results. The second space is industry and alumni sessions and networking. This is the most important space for you, which will also differentiate you as management students, and particularly a Jaipuria student. Jaipuria will provide you huge opportunity in terms of attending industry and alumni guest sessions, which the course and within the course and also on the general platform. Don't miss them at all. It is in these sessions that you can build a bridge from your classroom to the corporate world. Guest speakers and alumni visiting Jaipuria is also a network opportunity for you. Who knows, some of them may get impressed by your hard work and sincerity, and you discover a mentor in them. I do not know how many of you are on LinkedIn. If you are not, create an account right away and get connected with as many friends of yours, faculty, and eventually to industry professionals. The third space I would like to talk about is opportunity to add value to your CV and credentials. Here you must take help from your faculty mentor and find right kind of online and offline courses which you can easily pursue. Jaipuria faculty will be too willing to help you in getting additional certifications. These value-add certifications often prove to be the cornerstone of your success in final placement. Yet another way you add immense value to your CV is by doing a good summer internship project. Your gain will increase several fold if you do summer internship with sincerity, come up with a good report, and be able to articulate learning from it. The fourth and the last space I would like to talk to you about is participation and exposure. Here you need to maximize on both internal and external participation. Jaipuria will offer you a basket full of activities and tours, both academic and extracurricular, which you must harp upon. These opportunities will come to you at in-house national and international levels. You must not miss the opportunity to participate in conferences, conclaves, and events. These participations will build your personality, enhance your learning, and develop leadership quality. Your participation in discussion forum, soft skill and aptitude training, GDPI mock drill will make you better employable and enhance your chances of getting higher package. International Student Exchange Program, International Summer Internship, and International Placement are few more areas which you must explore for yourself. Friends, as concluding words, I would like to say that procrastinating about success does not bring about success to you, but working towards success will definitely bring success closer to you. As Bob Nelson said, you get the best not by lighting a fire beneath, but by building a fire within. You need to build that fire within. And my favorite poet, Sant Kabir, and the philosopher said, "Jaise til mein tel hai, ज्यों चकमक में आग, जैसे तिल में तेल है, ज्यों चकमक में आग, तेरा साईं तुझ में है, तू जाग सके तो जाग." My dear friends, what I have spoken to you about, I would like to summarize, and if you want, you can note it down in your diary, and I'll put it for you as a summary in terms of 6 pointers. Number one, I would like to talk about is do lots of pre-work. It's all about pre-work. The more you prepare, the better you become. Prepare, prepare, and prepare. That's the logic. That's the magic. Second, always organize your learning. Learn how to be a good organizer of your own learning. Don't let it just go. Just listen and forget. Don't do that. You must note down the points in your copy and keep it for your references. Always organize your learning. Third point, come forward and act for active participation. So here the clue is that participate, participate, and participate. There is no substitute to that. The more you engage yourself, the more you participate, the better you become. And therefore, the mantras is here is that prepare, participate, prepare, participate. The more you prepare, the better you participate. The better you participate, the better you become. Fourth, indulge in peer learning. Value your peer, value your friends as a resource, because in your learning journey, you must have realized this. You learn a lot from your friends. Sit with your friends and take them as a resource. Learn from each other. Fifth, look for networking. The more people you connect with, the more people know you, the more people you are able to establish relationship with is better. Sixth, build the right attitude and do not reject the things for the sake of it. or somebody has said like that. You should have the attitude of accepting, embracing, and doing it. Now, the last thing I would like to put forward for your consideration is there is a big thing that is coming up in the entire West. When I was in Harvard some time back, and one slogan that caught my attention, and it put a very deep impact on my psychology as well. And I keep on telling my students about it. The slogan at the Harvard University was learning to change the world. And here is a big word, learning to change the world. Do you think that you're learning for changing the world, and what for you are learning? What is the objective of learning? Why do you want to learn? So here the key is that you learn to impact, and there are many ways you create impact. So you learn to impact your own life, don't you? Because you have joined management program at Jaipuria because you wanted to impact your own life. You wanted to make your own life. So you are impacting your life through your learning. But that's not the purpose of learning. The purpose of learning goes beyond that. You need to learn, you also learn to impact the life of people around you. It's not just about your own life. It's the life of your family. It's your life of your people with whom you're working. Your co-peers, you're changing the life of people around you, and that's why you want to learn. But there is a bigger cause, even bigger than this one, your own life and the life around the people. The bigger cause is that you learn to change the world. And why not? I mean, if I charge you for your learning, that you learn in such a way that you finally impact the world and make this world a better place, what is wrong in it? There's nothing wrong in it. You should have that larger goal in mind, that you are learning not just to change your own life, you are learning also to change the life of people around you, and you are also learning to change the world finally. Just listen to these two lines, which is one of my favorite. It's in Urdu couplet, and I would love to recite it as many times as it takes. Here it goes. Paron ko khol, zamana udan dekhta hai. Who has stopped you from opening your wings? Paron ko khol, zamana udan dekhta hai. Zami par baith kar kyun asman dekhta hai? Kya asman dekhta hai? So you have to come and be a part of it. Welcome to Jaipuria, and welcome to the journey called learning to impact your own life, learning to impact people around you, learning to change the world. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for your kind words to the students. So we will be taking some questions, if you allow, sir.
Let me just see the questions. There are many, so it's a long list. I do not know how to tackle, but I'll take couple of questions. Let me just see.
Some have been addressed by the fellow team members who have joined in the session.
Yeah, sure. I'm sure, but all the questions should be answered. All these questions must be answered. So let me just check if I can answer some of the questions. So I'll go with the beginning. The first question I would like to Rohan. Rohan is asking, is our induction will start in June? Yes. We'll follow the academic calendar, and your induction will start on time. The only thing is that whether it's going to start on the campus or off the campus will be decided by the situation. There will be by the time you do, but we'll follow the timeline. Then let me go to the questions. There are some difficulty for the students to have a clear audio as well. Nayan Gupta is asking, really concerned about lockdowns and its impact on the sessions delay. Okay, all right, Rohan. Sorry, Nayan. It's a concern which is going to be at the back of everybody's mind. So let me clarify this, whether this lockdown is going to affect their learning, their sessions, everything. So let me assure you that Jaipuria is fully equipped with handling this situation. And let me explain to you how we have done it with the current batch. Your batch is yet to join, but how we have done it, the current batch, and also the senior student who are going out. That will give you the assurance how we are going to do ensure learning for you. For the current batch, we did not take even hours to sift to the online learning, because in Jaipuria we are fully equipped with the online learning system. And it's better than any business school because it's not only the live streaming, which you may miss sometime, but we also give you the recorded lecture facility, so which you can actually access later on and do that. So there is absolutely no loss of learning for the current batch of student. And we followed the academic calendar, we followed the timetable, and everything has actually proceeded according to the calendar that we have set for. The results, the examinations have gone online and results have been declared on time. The certificates and the mark sheets provisionals are provided to the students online. So everything is made available to them. As far as SIP is concerned, we have created 3 different scenarios on the SIP. One scenario is that the students will be able to come back by let's say May. Second was they will be able to come back by August. And third scenario was that the situation might also prevail beyond August, so it will be further delayed. So 3 different scenarios. In the first scenario, we have given them the alternative. So the faculty mentor plus the alumni, we have taken alumni on board, and the industry where the students have already got the SIP. So three of them actually sat together through the video conferencing, and they created a work from home project for every student. And we have given this work from home project to them, and we are guiding them through this project for SIP. So we do not want any loss of learning for the students. And when they are going to come back, so when they'll be in the 4th term or the 5th term, let's say, and whenever the situation normalizes and the industry would like to take them back for the SIP on board, we'll send them to the industry. So we'll not create a situation where the students are not able to go to the industry and work. So we'll give them, but they'll get the opportunity a little later. So it's just a deferred one. We have deferred a little bit, but there is no loss of SIP for them. Final placement, we are working very meticulously on final placement. And for your information, in Jaipuria system, when you go to the 4th term, that is the second year, when the second year starts, the placement starts right away from that time onwards. And our experience is that most of the students, when you go to 5th term, almost like 60-70% students have the job in their hands. And by the time when you go to the 6th term, almost all the students actually have a job in the hand. So you get a job when already in study, you have not completed your PGDM. The current scenario is that we have placed more than 90% students. A couple of students are left out for getting the final placement. So we're working on that. So even during the lockdown, the placement work is on, the training is going on, and a lot of students have got placed during this period as well. So I have tried to address 3 things, how the lockdown is going to affect. One is learning. So there is not going to be any loss of learning for you if you join when you are joining Jaipuria. The only question is that is going to be online if the lockdown continues. And as soon as it is over, you are going to come back on the campus, and things will start from there. So there is not going to be a single loss of learning. No, absolutely no loss of learning. Second is SIP. Your time is still far away because you are just a new student. So I'm sure the things will return to normal in a couple of months maximum, because there is a lot of things going on, and there is also antidote coming up. So we are hopeful, we are positive that in next 1 or 2 months situation will be normal. So
So I think so. There has been some issue with Dr. Prabhat's internet connection. That's why the video and audio stream has paused from his end. We will be waiting for a minute or two. If he can rejoin, just give me some time. So there has been some issue with his internet connection. So he's trying to reconnect. Just wait for a few minutes. He will be joining back us again. Prabhat sir?
Yeah. So sorry, my internet was down for a while. So I'm just looking at the questions. So I was trying to answer. There is three things for your concern. One is learning. So I have already explained that there is not going to be any loss of learning for you. The session will start on time, and we follow the academic calendar. SIP for the current batch, we have created some alternative for them, looking at the situation. But when they are coming back and joining us in the campus, then we'll look at their SIP in the marketplace. For you, it's too early to talk about SIP because I don't think there will be any problem for you for the SIP. So that's the answer. Is there any other questions I can take up? Yeah, so there is a question like Rohan is asking, suggest some courses that we should do before joining the campus. That's a good question, Rohan. Congratulations that you're thinking on this time, on this line. I appreciate that. So what we will do is that I will ask my faculty colleague to send you a link of Coursera and other online courses, MOOCs courses, which you can do. But from my side, if you are looking at preparing yourself for the campus, becoming a better MBA student before you join, should listen two, three things. Anything that is going to enhance your analytical ability, you should go for that. I'll suggest Excel. If you're good at Excel, well and good. If you're not, then you should start practicing Excel. And it's advisable that you do some online courses on Excel so that you become fully equipped in handling Excel. Excel is one thing that is going to be required uh, required in all courses anywhere, and also highly required by the industry. So you should be a master of Excel. That's number one. Second, any opportunity that you get to develop your communication skill, spoken, you should be indulged into that, uh, and read some good books. Be a good reader. Develop the reading habit, daily reading habit. Pick up the newspaper. Start preparing the notes on the stories that you will be reading. Try and develop some perspective on issues which the economy is confronting or the world is confronting, and try to prepare something interesting. This is on this line you can prepare yourself. So, and rest I will ask my faculty colleague to send you some resources, some list of books, some list of courses or MOOCs courses will be shared with you, which you can look at. Let me just see another. Yeah. So our colleagues are also responding. I can see Dr. Abhijit Nair, our faculty colleague in business communication, is responding to you. So I'm sure our team and our faculty colleague will give you a lot of idea, and will be able to answer all your questions. Nidhi is asking, is this situation going to hamper the jobs in the future? Yeah, that's an interesting question, Nidhi. Very interesting question, job in the future. So job in the future, let's look at it from two angles. One is uh, which course you do is going to provide you a better job opportunities in the future, given the outlook of the economy, which is really, really going down, right? So which course is going to give you a better job opportunity? Is MBA? Is definitely, if there is any ray of hope that you can get in the future, is the role is going to go through the PGDM program or the MBA program. So that's one point I would like to make. Second, the industries are almost at the lockdown situation. So when the lockdown is going to get over, they're going to come back in a very big way. So there is a Harvard paper, which I can share with all of you. You can read that, how the economy is going to recover. And it talked about American economy, how it is going to recover. So the experts have suggested for the American economy, which is very true for all other economy. It said that the recovery is going to be a V-shaped recovery. So what do you mean by the V-shaped recovery? Vis-a-vis the U-shaped recovery. So when you look at the U-shaped recovery, the U-shaped recovery is about the fact that the economy is going to go down for a considerable amount of time and recovery will take time. But V-shaped is that the economy is dip and it's going to come up very fast. So the current lockdown is just an interim period and the economy is going to come up very fast under a V-shaped recovery. That's the second point I would like to mention. Third point I would like to mention is about the outlook on Indian economy. So there are a lot of papers and other scholars have actually started studying what will happen to the Indian economy vis-a-vis the rest of the world. So people are actually giving more optimistic picture for the Indian economy vis-a-vis other economy in terms of everything that we do. They're saying that the Indian economy is least affected by the recession. So we impact, but this impact is least in comparison to what is being faced in the Western world these days. So you can see that you are in a better position. So I'm an optimist and I'm of the opinion that the economy is going to recover very fast. It will come to a normal situation very soon, and industrial activities will happen and even better than before once this situation settles. So I don't see any reason for you to worry about for your job. And then I'll give you final analysis in terms of one more study. So when we studied the past recessions, as in the historical perspective, we found that every time the recession passed, the education sector, say, the recession would have been the youth is to enter themselves into tertiary education. So one who is actually going to sit down quietly and focus more on learning at this point of time are the one who is going to reap the benefits of recovery tomorrow. So just think about it. So recession is also a time when you should do some introspection, sit down, do some study, equip yourself better, gain some more skills, and be ready for the to reap the benefit of the recovery. And it is seen all over the world that when recession happens, it's the higher education which has not gone to recession because of this psychology. So I mean, for you, the take home is that don't worry about recession. Focus on your learning. Because if you miss this time to build yourself or prepare yourself for the future benefit, then you will miss the train, of course. But it's not the time that you should sleep over. It's the time you should be more active and yourself better. Any benefit that comes around you in the future, you will benefit. So all these studies I have referred to you for your understanding of how the things are going to unfold, but it's going to be optimistic for sure. Yeah. So Nan is asking how China is becoming more corporate stronger than the nations will impact our country's corporate. All right. So, you're opening up a debate between India and China and how Chinese economy is doing and all. I can give you a perspective, but we have very little time. I can send you some Nayan for you to read. And I'm not going to comment on how Chinese economy is going to unfold in times to come, whether it is going to be stronger, but I'm sure that the Indian economy is going to come back very robust, in a very robust way. And Indian industrialists are very good. We're making mark on the world economy, and India is going to be one of the leader in industrial development and job creation in the times to come. Aman is saying, please suggest me some books which will help me perform well in my service management. All right, so Aman, thank you for your question. I will pass on your request to service management faculty and ask to send you a detailed list of what are the courses that you can read, what are the books that you can read, what are the readings available, and they'll also give you some readings to do better in management. But if you are opting for service management, congratulations to you. Service management is one thing which is going to come up in a very, very big way in times to come. And there is going to be new age services which are going to be very upcoming, and is going to be a new thing in the market post recession. So if you are planning to take services, congratulations to you. Then, yeah, Rohan, there is a question from Rohan. Jaipuria's placement percentage, 98% in website. Is it combination of all campuses? Yes, indeed. It's a combination of all campuses. We have been able to place 98% students so far. So only few students are left. So, and we are hopeful that it will be placed, we'll be able to place all the students. Many questions are about the readings, and it's heartening to see that, I congratulate all of you that we have a set of students like this who are thinking in terms of what reading they should do, how they should prepare before they come to the campus, what are the courses they should do online before they come to the campus. It's a wonderful thing to see. I really admire that, and I compliment all of you. This is the right kind of thinking. So I will ask my team and my faculty colleague to get back to you to answer all these questions and give you all the resources which you can look at. Yeah, how can I enroll in for international internship? Bhaskar is asking, how can I enroll for international internship? When you come to the campus, the international internship will be floated on time when the time comes. So when you will be in about third term, the internship starts happening. So all opportunities will be floated to you, so you can nominate yourself at that point of time. But there is a good possibility. But if you have interest, any of you, if you have interest in visiting abroad, either on the short-term period like 1 week, 2 weeks program, or on a relatively larger period like 3 months program, which is a trimester exchange, happens on the credit transfer basis. You have to take certain number of credits over there and study and take that credit, which will be transferred to your transcript over here. So if you're interested in that, or if you're interested in internship placement, which is international in nature, so we'll facilitate that. So we'll also use if you're interested, and we'll know all the details about it. So it's good that you have expressed that you're interested in international placement or international visit. Garima is asking, what are some good marketing books to read before my MBA so I can enhance my corporate knowledge? My marketing colleague will answer your question, because I think they are the right person to answer, people to answer your question about the marketing books. So we have noted down your interest, your question, and all others question who are asking like this to know what are the resources available. We'll definitely get back to it. Our team will get back to you. Yeah. So I can see some interesting questions. So the questions are almost like similar, so I'm not taking those questions. So Aman is asking, this is the last question I'm taking up. Aman is asking, I'm doing digital marketing course. Is this course will help during my placement? Of course, Aman, and I appreciate that you have actually thought about it. Digital marketing is in thing, and you're doing the right thing. Um, Even if you're not pursuing your future job in digital marketing, but knowing digital marketing is definitely going to help you, and it's a very good value additions that you can make to yourself, because any company you join across all fields, they would be very happy if you know digital marketing. She's, I think, is asking a different kind of question, so I take that Ashi's question is the last one. Do you think we have to become selfish in life, because from now we have to look at our career? Well, Ashish, thank you for asking this question. It's not like becoming selfish. If you mean that selfish means you focus on yourself, yes, you need to focus on yourself. Remember one thing, when you are joining, you have decided to join PGDM program, and the next 2 years you're going to be into it. Remember one thing, that this is your last opportunity to groom yourself. And I'm sure you will agree with that, because after this, you have already finished your graduation. Now you're doing your master's, and 2 years. So this 2 years is your last opportunity. And what is that is at a stake? What is that you are investing in the next 2 years? You are investing two things. One is the last precious time that you can devote on yourself. That is one thing. So in terms of time, your investment is coming about in terms of time, which you are not going to get again. Second, your investing is in terms of money. Your parents are actually spending a lot of money on you, and therefore it's very important that you focus on yourself. It's all about grooming yourself. And indeed, yes, if it is selfish, yeah, of course, there's nothing wrong in becoming selfish to develop yourself. But I would not like to use the term selfishness. I would like to use the term making your life. And if you could hear me correctly when I talked about making an impact through your learning. So this is when you can make an impact to change your own life, impact to change the life of people around you, impact to change the world. So if you keep the goal like this and focus on your own development in 2 years, there's nothing wrong in it. And this is exactly what you should do, because this time is not going to come back again. And also think about the kind of money your parents are investing on you. And we would like you to justify that pain that your parents are taking. And therefore, there is a suggestion that you should focus on yourself, your own grooming, your own development in the next 2 years. The more you develop yourself, the better you become for the rest of the life. And therefore, yes.
So thank you so much, sir, for the enriching thoughts which you have shared with the students, and thank you so much for the Jaipuria team members who have joined this meeting.
Yeah. Thank you, Sureshji, for
Thank you,
arranging
sir.
this, and it was lovely talking to all the young friends. I was not able to answer all your questions. I would have loved to take each one of your questions, but I'm going to look at each one of your questions, and if I think that I should answer you personally, I will answer those questions personally to you. Rest assured, our team and our faculty colleague will be onto it, and your questions will be answered. All your questions will be answered. Thank you so much. Looking forward to see you on the campus very soon. We have to be optimistic, and we should cross our finger that the situation gets over very soon and we are back to the campus. Thank you so much. Have a good day.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you all for joining. Thank you.